Most men don't choose the wrong partner because they are weak. They choose wrong because no one ever taught them what actually matters to observe. In the beginning, everything feels perfect. The attention feels exciting. The connection feels deep. Emotions feel strong and convincing. At that stage, most men believe strong feelings mean strong foundations. But feelings are temporary. They change with mood, comfort, and circumstance. Over time, clarity slowly fades. Energy turns into exhaustion. Simple conversations become stressful, and what once felt peaceful starts to feel heavy. This is where men get confused. They don't understand how things shifted so fast. They replay old moments, trying to fix what no longer feels stable. This video is not about blaming women, and it is not about control, manipulation, or emotional games. Healthy relationships are not built on power struggles. This is about awareness, about understanding how female psychology works beneath the surface, about recognizing emotional patterns instead of chasing emotional highs. When men learn to observe behavior over time, not just words or feelings, they make better decisions. They stop confusing attraction with long-term compatibility. They stop investing energy where peace is missing. The goal is not perfection. The goal is clarity. Because when a man understands what to observe, he stops repeating the same mistakes and starts choosing relationships that feel stable, supportive. Men are naturally action-focused. They pay attention to what they can see, hear, and feel in the moment. When a woman shows interest, many men assume compatibility. When she expresses emotions, they assume loyalty. When she gives attention, they assume commitment. But these signals are often misunderstood. Interest can exist without alignment. Emotion can exist without stability. Attention can exist without long-term intention. Attraction creates excitement, not structure. And excitement alone cannot hold a relationship together. Women experience emotions deeply and sincerely. Their feelings are real in the moment they feel them. But emotions are fluid. They respond to environment, safety, and emotional experience. This does not mean emotions are false. It means emotions are situational, not permanent. Many men make the mistake of treating emotional moments as fixed guarantees. They believe what is felt today will remain unchanged tomorrow. When it doesn't, confusion begins. The issue is not dishonesty. The issue is misunderstanding how emotions function. Female psychology is driven by emotional safety, presence, and consistency. When those elements shift, emotions shift too. Men who learn this stop over-investing too early. They observe patterns instead of moments. They wait for consistency instead of chasing intensity. Understanding this difference protects men from disappointment. It allows them to choose partners based on stability, not just feeling. And that awareness alone changes everything. Attraction is emotional. It is driven by feeling, chemistry, and momentary connection. It happens quickly and often without logic. Attachment, on the other hand, is psychological. It forms slowly, through trust, consistency, and emotional safety. It is not created in moments of excitement, but through repeated experiences over time. Attraction can appear instantly. Attachment must be built. A woman can feel strongly drawn to you today and feel emotionally distant tomorrow, not because she intended to mislead or cause pain, but because emotions respond to how safe, understood, and comfortable she feels. Emotional shifts are not always conscious decisions. They are reactions to internal and external experiences. Many men confuse emotional excitement with emotional reliability. They mistake intensity for depth. They believe strong feelings automatically mean long-term potential. But intensity does not guarantee stability. In fact, highly intense emotions often fluctuate the most. This misunderstanding leads men to invest quickly in connections that feel powerful but lack structure. They ignore patterns and focus on peaks. Over time, this creates confusion. The relationship feels unpredictable. High moments are followed by emotional distance. Understanding the difference between attraction and attachment changes everything. It teaches men to slow down, to observe consistency instead of chasing emotion. When a man learns to value emotional reliability over excitement, he chooses partners who feel calm, stable, and supportive, not just intense. And that awareness protects him from repeating the same mistake again. The sign is simple, but it is powerful. And most men overlook it. The real signal is not how she behaves when everything is going well. Not when she is happy, relaxed, or emotionally comfortable. Anyone can be pleasant when life feels easy. The sign appears when she does not feel good. When she is stressed. when she feels uncomfortable, when something challenges her emotions. This is where true patterns show. Pay attention to how she responds in these moments. Does she communicate calmly, or does she shut down? Does she try to understand the situation, or does she avoid it? Does she look for solutions, or does she create emotional tension? A healthy response is not perfection. It is responsibility. A woman with emotional awareness can express discomfort without attacking, blaming, or testing. She can speak without turning emotions into weapons. An unhealthy pattern shows itself through chaos, through silence meant to punish, through sudden emotional aggression, through making you feel responsible for her internal state. These reactions are not accidents. They are habits, and habits matter more than affection. Months of attention, attraction, and excitement cannot outweigh repeated emotional instability. Men who understand this sign stop being confused. They stop chasing emotional highs. They stop ignoring early warnings. Instead, they choose based on emotional maturity, because how someone reacts under pressure reveals more about the future than how they act when everything feels perfect. Women don't reveal their true emotional patterns through words. What they say is often polite, socially acceptable, or situational. The real insight comes from how they handle emotions. Their emotional regulation. A healthy woman can feel upset or frustrated without trying to control, punish, or manipulate you. She can express discomfort directly and calmly, without making you feel guilty. She doesn't test boundaries with emotional games, and she doesn't turn her feelings into a weapon. Her reactions are measured, respectful, and honest. An unstable emotional pattern, on the other hand, shows itself clearly. It appears as repeated behaviors that create tension and confusion. For example, silent treatment used as a punishment, emotional guilt to make you feel responsible for her state, sudden mood shifts that feel unpredictable, constantly making you manage her emotions instead of handling them herself. These are not harmless quirks or cute habits. They are warnings of potential instability that often grow over time. Recognizing these patterns early can save men from confusion and repeated emotional stress. It allows them to make clear, conscious choices instead of getting lost in temporary attraction or affection. Observing emotional regulation, rather than just listening to words, is key. It tells you more about long-term compatibility than months of attention or flattery ever could. Understanding these giggles is not about blaming women. It is about protecting your peace, clarity, and emotional well-being. Awareness of these patterns leads to wiser choices and healthier relationships. When men ignore this sign, confusion grows slowly but steadily. At first it might be subtle. A slight tension here, a small misunderstanding there. But over time, the lack of clarity begins to affect everything in the relationship. Men start walking on eggshells. Every word, every action feels like it could trigger the wrong response. Simple conversations turn into careful calculations. They overthink, over-explain, and justify themselves constantly. They begin questioning their own judgment. They doubt their instincts, wondering if they are too sensitive, too demanding, or simply misreading the situation. This self-doubt builds quietly, like a shadow, until it affects how they interact with their partner. Instead of emotional growth, the relationship becomes emotional labor. Men invest energy, not in connecting, supporting, or building together, but in managing moods, navigating unpredictability, and avoiding conflict. Every step feels like effort, not comfort. Men don't leave because they stop caring. They leave because the relationship stops feeling safe. When emotional security is missing, no amount of attraction or affection can compensate. Peace and stability are what keep men invested in the long term. Understanding and noticing the sign early prevents this spiral. It allows men to choose wisely, observe patterns, and protect their own emotional well-being. Clarity, consistency, and emotional safety are what make relationships healthy, not constant excitement. When men value these signals, they build connections that are stable, supportive, and fulfilling, instead of draining and confusing. Strong men don't chase emotional intensity. They understand that fleeting excitement and dramatic highs do not guarantee stability or long-term compatibility. Instead of being drawn to the most intense feelings in the moment, they focus on emotional consistency over time. They observe patterns rather than isolated moments, paying attention to how a woman reacts across different situations. Not just when things feel easy. They notice reactions, not promises. Words and commitments can be empty if they are not supported by consistent behavior. A woman who can regulate her emotions, even when stressed, frustrated, or challenged, creates peace, not pressure. Her calm presence, balanced reactions, and steady behavior signal reliability, trust, and emotional maturity. Peace is what allows attraction to last long term. Without it, even the strongest initial connection can fade, leaving confusion, tension, and emotional exhaustion. Strong men know that choosing wisely is never about control or manipulation. It is about awareness, the ability to read patterns, understand true emotional stability, and make conscious decisions. Most men don't need better luck in relationships. They need better observation. They need to learn how to see what is happening beneath the surface, to notice subtle cues and patterns of behavior that reveal long-term compatibility. When you understand this sign, you stop choosing from emotion alone. You stop chasing excitement and intensity. Instead, you begin choosing from clarity, awareness, and calm observation. This single shift in perspective puts you ahead of most men, giving you an advantage that is far more valuable than any temporary charm or attraction. Stay calm, stay grounded, observe consistently, and choose wisely. Strong men don't follow the highs of emotion. They follow the signs of stability. By understanding patterns, reactions, and emotional regulation, you ensure that your relationships are built on clarity, trust, and lasting connection, not chaos, confusion, or fleeting excitement.